Hello, this is the Monotone Centrist here with another video. Today's video is going to be if Derek Chauvin is going to be found guilty or not. Now, I don't think this is like open shut case. Defense is going to be focusing on his drug use and the fentanyl and his health issues and already there's been back and forth. I've been following the case a little bit, so if I miss something or get something wrong, I apologize. But they basically opened up, like the prosecution opened up with the 9 minutes and I think it was 30 seconds or 9 minutes or 20 seconds, something like that. It was more, there was more a little bit of footage of the 8 minutes or 45 seconds of him kneeling on the back of the neck or his back, wherever you want to say, and they're going to bring up initial you know findings of the autopsy and other things like that, and the prosecution is going to argue. I'm not too sure. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not too sure which what they're going to argue. I've seen some arguments on both sides already, and they release those. Um, It's going to be very interesting. I think the defense is going to show the whole video of George Floyd, like before he, gets onto the ground, where he's saying he can't breathe before that, and they already brought in some witnesses saying he was like a pretty big dude, and that he may be onto something. The prosecution brought in some witnesses. This EMT lady, that they stopped from like treating him. I think the defense probably argued that she wasn't actually on the job, which I don't think she was. I think she was just a bystander at that particular time. So they could argue that they didn't want her to treat her because maybe there's some lawsuit issues there, like it's because she's not on duty, so she can't really help someone. Like, and there might be some legal issues of letting the, quote unquote, she was an EMT, but she was a civilian at that particular time. Pretty sure. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me on that one. So it's going to be very interesting trial overall. Now, do I think overall he'll be acquitted? I doubt it. Like, I don't see a very fair trial at all, to be perfectly honest. I think there's going to be a hung jury for quite some time, and we might have to wait a couple years before we get an actual verdict on this. I can see it going on 4 or 5 years of hung juries before we get an actual verdict, and it's kind of crazy how they're going to argue that this was a unbiased jury. That's like, I don't see it happening. And if he's guilty, they're going to, I think there's going to be riots either way because they think they're going to, regardless if he gets like second degree murder, I don't think they're going to see it as justice. If he gets something lesser than second degree murder, they're going to riot. I almost guarantee that. Maybe they won't, but I have a pretty big suspicion they would. And if he gets acquitted, holy shit, there definitely is going to be some shit hitting the fan then. We all know that one. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. I don't think that's going to happen, to be perfectly honest. And a lot of people are already bringing up they might, this guy, they're going to kind of like railroad him a little bit and give him a sentence, and there's probably going to be questioning of the sentence. If he does get second degree murder, they're going to bring up that the jury wasn't unbiased, and I can definitely see that kind of argument coming up because it's going to be very difficult to this man have a complete and fair trial under the circumstances, because the emotions that come with watching that video is extremely high. I can definitely see emotions taking over more than the factual thing. I guess events that happen. I can see that kind of overshadowing like the facts that bring up in the prosecution and defense, and that's definitely something that's going to be brought up if he is convicted, to have a retrial. Definitely, I can see that happening. So that's why I think it's going to take quite some time to actually sort this all this things out. And at the end of the day, I think he's going to get manslaughter because there's going to be that shadow of a doubt that yeah, he didn't, uh, kill him on purpose, obviously, and well, he may contributed to his death. He didn't do it in a malicious fashion. They have to prove that he kind of he didn't, I guess, care, or he didn't think he needed assistance during that particular time, and like the crowd could have been distracting him, and there's several other factors in here, that could just factor in where he might be convicted of these crimes. And if, I really don't know how it's going to go. You know, if he's acquitted, riots ensue. If he gets convicted less than manslaughter, I could see riots. Probably not as bad, but as if he was acquitted, but still kind of like outraged that they didn't get exactly the sentence they wanted to get, and they might appeal even that particular uh, decision based on a lot of other stuff. So this case can probably take up to several years to get an answer. I don't think he's going to get more than 10 years. I base this on to I can't remember her name, but she walked into that man's apartment and shot and killed him. The Texas police officer, the female, she only got 10 years. Thought that was pretty fucked up personally. I think she should have got 25 years plus, maybe in death penalty. Probably not the death penalty, but there was definitely. I think that woman was first degree murder, and she got off with a fucking slap on the wrist. So I don't see this guy getting any more time than her. Definitely with the circumstances there, and they can bring up her case for the sentencing because they want equal kind of sentencing throughout. I can't remember if that's true or not, so I can't. Don't quote me on that one particular either. So definitely going to take a long time for them to decide. Whatever it is, I think there are going to be riots happening. Maybe not so much of depending on what sentencing he gets. As his chances to getting acquitted, I just don't see it happening. I think they need to send out kind of like a message. That's why I say he's going to get railroaded. Still 10 years at the minimum, I think he's going to get, which isn't a whole lot, and he's going to get time served, whatnot. So, total, maybe he'll serve 8 years, if that. I don't think that's very. I mean, a lot of people are probably not going to see that as justice. Um, the maximum 25 years for second degree murder, which I highly doubt he's going to get. So somewhere in between there, but uh, I don't see him getting acquitted. I'd say 10% chance he gets 100% like acquitted from this. After all things said and done, I don't think he's going to get more than 10 years, and I think that's going to piss off a lot of people. So we'll see if what happens. Pretty much. Like, listen, right, comment, and subscribe.